Before we start today's show, WOD right here on Boom Broadcasting, just kind of want to jump back. As you guys know, earlier this week we lost a future Hall of Famer, somebody who to me should have been already inducted. A lot of rumors are floating around that Sid did get a invitation to be inducted, but declined it at that present moment. But if it's true or if it's not, a guy who definitely deserves to be inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame. WWE does very good with inducting, people who made an impact on wrestling, whether they're celebrities, promoters, managers, wrestlers, other celebrities who just got involved with the business behind the scene, in the front of the house of the scene, doing stuff. They do good with that. But Sid's definitely a first ballot Hall of Famer in my books, and I grew up watching Sid. I mean, Sid Udy, his real name, known to us by Sid Justice back when he first debuted. Sid Vicious in WCW, Psycho Sid when he came back to WWO, Sid in ECW, places like that. Sid was one of those guys I grew up watching. I mean, I saw him from when he just started. Soon he got started in WWF. Vinnie Mac jump started this guy straight to the top of the mountain. I mean, put it right there in the main event caliber match. Sid was one of those guys that he just had the look. He had the talk game. He could cut promos. Sid could just do it all. And Sid, to me, got better as he moved around. When he got to WCW, ECW, had a great run ECW. I was listening to a podcast earlier this week. Forgot the name of it. If I did, definitely would shout it out. But I definitely, if I go back and find it, definitely drop it in the comment section so people can check it out. But they were talking about Sid, and Booker T did very good this week on his podcast, sharing some Sid stories. But they were talking about how Sid would just show up to an ECW show, jeans on, t-shirt, on his elbow pad, and go right there and put on a 5-star match right there for the fans. Jump right back in the car, be on his way back home. They said that was Sid. But Sid was very good. I mean, WCW, that Master of the Powerbomb run he had really did good. And I mean, that was a staple that made the Bash at the Beach pay-per-view for WCW one of the big pay-per-views off of that good run he had with Vader with the Masters of the Powerbomb versus Sting and Davey Boy Smith. Sid would later come back to WWF. At that present time, was a WWE. During that time, he would be a bodyguard of Shawn Michaels, turn on Shawn Michaels, and adopt the Psycho Sid, not paraphernalia, Psycho Sid personality. During that run right there, he would go on to hold the WWF Championship, beat Shawn Michaels for it at the Survivor Series '96. Remember watching that one. And I said on Drop the Bite when we did the Out of Pocket earlier this week. It wasn't Drop the Bite. It was Out of Pocket with the president, Michael Davis. I said that, as a kid, watching Sid back in '95, '96, you just wanted to be at a house show or a premium live event, hear that music come on, see Sid come down the ring with that black leather vest on, and just get that fist bump from Sid. To me, that was like the ultimate rub to be on a house show. Never got a chance to go to a house show or go to a premium live event that Sid was on. Wish I could, because I mean, as a kid, being able to do that fist bump back in '96, '95, that would have just been a highlight of my night. But Sid's one of those guys that when you look at his career, he did a lot. And I talked about this on Out of Pocket Special Edition. I'm going to talk about it again before we jump into WOD and make these predictions for No Mercy and Bash in Berlin. Sid was a guy that did what he had to do when he first got started. As we stated earlier, jump started right into a main event program. Went to WCW, main event program with Colonel Robert Parker's, teamed up with Vader Harley Race, main eventer. Ended up going to ECW, main event program over there for Paul Heyman. Came back to WWF, back in the main event scene. Sid main evented 3 WrestleManias, one with The Undertaker. Hey, that was a good one. Sid won 2 WWF championships, but one of the big accomplishments for Sid was when he went back to WCW as Sid Vicious. In that 2000 run, when the NWO and all that was going on, there was another guy named Bill Goldberg who was just hitting the iceberg, just starting to really hit it. There was a big following for Goldberg, and I remember that. I was going through that era with it. I was right there in that era. Goldberg was getting bigger than life, larger than life over in WCW. They needed somebody who could be a mid-card talent to put Goldberg over as a mid-card champ, as the U.S. champ. Who do they go to? Sid Vicious, Psycho Sid Justice, Sid Unity. That's who they went to. That was one of the greatest accomplishments I think Sid did by taking that United States title, putting over an up-and-coming young Bill Goldberg, knowing that, hey, I've done it all. I held major titles. I've been around the world. Now's my time to put over somebody else, the next star. And a lot of times you see these old timers who say, hey, I'm not doing that. I'm not putting this guy over. Sid was that type of person. Definitely going to miss Sid. Think this guy deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. Hate to see him now done in post-humanist after his death, but he is truly a first ballot Hall of Famer. WWF, I think now will be a good time after everything kind of dwells over and the families have kind of had time to pretty much mourn and sympathize through this and grieve and stuff, to reach out and say, you know, when you do it with Triple H at the helm, I can see Sid going in either next Mania 41 or at least 42 Mania, Sid going in because the guy gave a lot to professional wrestling. And he's really going to be missed, and he is truly a first ballot Hall of Famer. Stay tuned. WOD coming on next, right here on Boom Broadcasting. R.I.P. Sid. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time of the day you choose to listen to WOD. Thank you for tuning in today. Whether you're watching me in the morning while you're out on that grocery list at Target, at the grocery store getting those groceries, if you're out in the shop working on that weekend project, out there cutting grass, working on that honey-do list like my man Podcast Smitty Shannon said from Quick Hits, or if you're in the gym getting that early morning burn, late evening burn, or late night burn, thank you for tuning in. If you're watching me as your pre-show before Bash at Berlin and not watching the one on the Peacock, thank you for tuning in. In the famous words of Chris Jericho, hi guys. In the famous words of my good friend Jim Cornette, good morning, good afternoon, my friends, and welcome to the show. So glad that you guys are here tuned in today. Predictions need to be made. Predictions need to be made. Got to give a shout out. If you want to pause WOD, go check out Four Sides of the Ring prediction show on YouTube. Then go jump over to my boy, Mouthing Off with Mike, his prediction show. Then jump over to Boom Broadcasting right here where we're at for Drop the Mic Wednesdays for the president, the Michael Davis, on his prediction show. Please check those out. Let us know what you think. If you're pausing, check all three of them out. Come back, hit the pause button, get through my show. By that time, the bell should be getting ready to ring for the first match on Bash at Berlin. So, before we get to Bash at Berlin, there was another show last night. And no, it was not SmackDown. TNA Emergence was last night. Can we give a golf clap round of applause for TNA? Another pay-per-view since Slammiversary that was sold out. 2 TNA pay-per-views back-to-back have been sold out. Yes, Slammiversary sell out. Against All Odds, sell out. So that's 3 now. Emergence, a sellout. Whoever said the TNA NXT partnership was not working, then you, my friend, are hiding under a rock, and you should be shamed, as the New Day would say. Or in the famous words of what Cody Rhodes told the Bloodline, your grandfather would be ashamed of you if he knew what you were doing, rocking Roman Reigns. Whoever said this partnership would not work should be ashamed, because it's working. You tell me, if the TNA NXT partnership was not happening right now, would TNA be selling out? That's a hard question, because some of my TNA friends would say yes, because we have, say his name, he will appear. We're going to be talking about him, Joe Hendry, on our show. Some of my WWE NXT friends and fans say no. By showcasing your stars on our product, that's why you're selling out. Who cares whether it's Joe Hendry doing it by himself or if it's because they're on TNA, because TNA is on NXT and WWE? I'm just glad they're selling out. Because when wrestling pay-per-views are selling out, that means now TNA's going to say, hey, let's do another one in a month and a half, 2 months. Let's build up another pay-per-view. Good one right here for TNA Emergence. Good matches. I mean, Joe Hendry's right now. Is this guy the workhorse or not? Yeah, Kashada, Frank Kazarian, Zachary Wentz, double duty just like Joe Hendry. Him versus Mike Bailey versus Riley Osborne versus Josh Hodge, Hammerstone and Lardo Kid, a TNA X Division match. Steve Macklin, Eric Young, a singles match. Jordan Grace, a Spitfire versus Ash by Elegance and the Militias. And a Ash by Elegance match. You had Joe Hendry, Mike Santana, the Hardys, Broken Matt, Brother Nero versus the System. Nick Nemeth, known as Dolph Ziggler in WWE, defending the TNA World title against Josh Alexander. 60-minute Iron Man TNA match. I mean, a good stacked pay-per-view for TNA. Great pay-per-view. TNA. Hey, right now, you're at the home plate. You got the bat, and you're just knocking it out the park. Keep going the way you're going. Definitely is going to get good for TNA. Good pay-per-view. And I mean, 3 back-to-back. They have sold out. If you're TNA, you haven't done that in years. You haven't done it since AJ Styles was hot. You haven't done it since Sting was there, the main event Mafia. You haven't done it since Aces and Eights with Bully Ray and Aces and Eight, Devon Dudley and them. This is good for TNA. The partnership is working. Joe Hendry, Zachary Wentz, double duty, working Friday night, jumping on the plane, flying to the NXT to work Sunday night. I mean, these guys right now are weekend warriors. And if you're those guys at TNA, you said if we can be on both shows on a weekend, this was a great moment for both of these two guys. So definitely proud of TNA. Outstanding work. Looking forward to it. Now, let's jump into Bash in Berlin pay-per-view. And this is going to be a great one right here. We got some good matches on this one. And we got 2 picks today. You're going to get my pick. Then also you're going to get Little Lucas. She's going to give me some picks. She's wrote her picks down. She didn't want to jump on WOD this morning. She said, Dad, I'm getting ready for Bash in Berlin, getting the things together, getting the snacks together, make sure everything's on point when we get ready to sit down. So when we turn it on, we're ready for it. So she's working on that. So let's look at the first match at Bash in Berlin. Unholy Union. 2 months ago, shocked the world. Beat Bianca and Jade. Didn't see it coming. Nobody saw it coming. Wanted their homeland. Great moment for WWE because they do not do that. Most time, the hometown hero does not win in their hometown. Good moment for WWE. Alba Fire, El Sadar, Bianca and Jade. Good feel-good moment for WWE, but feel-good moments have to come to an end. In my book, I pick this comes to an end. I say Bianca and Jade regain the titles. Bianca and Jade is where the money's at for WWE moving down the road in this tag team division. And I really want to see Bianca and Jade go to NXT to fight Lash Legend and Jakira Jackson. That's a bucket list match I want to see in NXT. Really think that'll be a great match for all 4 of the ladies to really showcase them. I can't tell you, Lash by Legend is she's just one match away, man. One match away. She keeps growing and she's getting better. And I think the more she's getting ring time, the better she's getting in the ring. And you got to think over a year from where she was at a year ago to this present moment at Bash in Berlin, even though she's not on the card, Lash by Legend looked good Tuesday night on NXT. Go back and watch the nightcap. Me and Mouthing Off with Mike were just applauding her for what she did in that first match. I mean, she did the bulk of the work. Jakira Jackson has gotten better. I keep saying I want them to get out of Metal 4. Now I'm supposed to say maybe they can stay in Metal 4 and kind of be the ones that push metaphor to that next level. But I got Bianca, I got Jay, Little Lucas got Unholy Union. Now the next match. We knew we were going to get this one. The Terror Twins, Damian Priest, Rhea Ripley, formerly of the Judgment Day, versus the Judgment Day, Dirty Dominic Mysterio and Liv Morgan. If I was doing like my boys from Booking Like a Mark and rebooking, which I love to do, shout out to Booking Like a Mark, definitely go check their stuff out. They rebooked all in, definitely check it out. That is a must watch. If I was doing like them, I would rebook this match right now. And I would tell you who I would pick to win. It would be Dirty Dom and Liv, because it will be long time storytelling to get to that payoff where Rhea finally beats Liv for the title and one of the big fours. Damian finally gets that win over Dom and sets the house on fire. But being this is Bash in Berlin, it's kind of like a one-off pay premium live event. We're doing it overseas. We're just doing a one-off. We're coming back to the script, back to the stories, back to the track. I'm taking the Terror Twins to win, Rhea and Damian. Lil Lucas is taking Rhea and Damian also in this match. I'm telling you, if I was looking long-time story builder, I would definitely put over Dom and Liv. But I can't see that happening at Bash in Berlin. Those type of paper premium live events, they kind of want to leave out on a high note in every match. And you don't want to, the high note will be Damian and Rhea winning. Now to the next match. Punk versus Drew. Strap match. Go back, check out Drop the Mic that dropped on Wednesday on Boom Broadcast with the president, Michael Davis. Go check that out. I made a pick for that match, and I broke it down. So I'm going to kind of summarize what I said on his show and borrow it to use on this show. Can I do that, Mr. President? Thank you, sir. President Taylor, you let me know. Thank you. What I said on that was, back in my days, we grew up watching great strap matches. We had Dusty, you had Harley Race, you had the Texas Tornado, the Von Erich, who were the original, the Von Erichs, who was the Texas Tornado WWE. You had Dusty, you had all the Ric Flair, all of them. We had good strap matches. And then in the 90s, we had good strap matches. Then in 2000, we had good strap matches. Rock and Triple H. You know, I think about the Savio Vega and Stone Cold strap match. Great one right there. Pretty much set strap matches back on fire. I always liked it, the NWA, WCW style. You fight, but to win the match, you had to touch all four turnbuckles to win the match and drag your opponent around. I always like that little part to it because you had to beat your opponent down to be able to touch all four turnbuckles. We had some good strap matches in this season. Cody, Seth Rollins, Texas Bull Rope match, very good one right there. Dusty made that famous, his daddy. So now it leads us to this strap match. Drew is already up 1-0 to Punk. This is going to be a best of 5 rivalry right here. It's going 5 matches. They're going to try to stretch it out on a lot of the filler pay-per-views to either get the Survivor Series where it's a Falls Count Anywhere in the Building match, First Blood match, I Quit match, Iron Man match. It's going to build to a big category type of match. But in order for it to do that, Punk's going to have a comeback. So for Punk to be on the chase for a comeback, he's got to be down. He can't go into it 1-1. When you watch the NBA, what do you want to see? You want to see a team that's down 3 games, win 3 in a row to force a game 7. So they're down 3 games. They win game 4 at home. Then they go on the road, win game 5. Then they come back to their house, win game 6. Then they force a game 7 on the opponent's home floor and win that one. That's what you want with this. Make it a best of 7 right now. Get Punk down. If you're going to do a best of 5, get Punk down too. If you're going to do a best of 7 and have the payoff at Survivor Series, do a best of 7. Punk will lose this match. He needs to be down too. Then you can go to Bad Blood. Punk wins, gets 1. Now he's down 2-1. Then you go to another one of those filler pay-per-views. Punk wins 2-2. Now we get the Survivor Series. all tied up. Even Steven, the rubber match, time to see who will win it. Punk goes over, beats Drew in this series, and we as fans talk about how great this series was leading up to that final match. Drew wins. I'm taking Drew. Let's see what Lil Lucas said. She agrees with me. Hey, the girl knows how to book, man. She sits and writes notes in my books. Just when I'm writing notes, she's taking notes. She's taking Drew on the win. Now let's get to Cody and KO. A lot of people thought this would be the main event, but I really think the Gunther, Randy Orton, they did right. That's the main event for this show. Cody KO. Anytime you get KO in a heavyweight title match, you're going to get a good match. I mean, I think of that series with him and Roman. Him and Roman had some great matches for the title. But the thing is with KO is he's not been able to win the big one in a while. And you start wondering, can he win the big one? But you got to ask yourself this question. Wanting KO to win the big one, are we ready to take the title off Cody? We're not ready. It's not time. It's not the time yet. Has Cody grown stale since winning the title? Absolutely. It is. It's kind of stale. Are we more focused with Bloodline, what I call them, Bloodline 2.0? Jacob Fatu, Solo Sikoa, G.O.D., the Guerrillas of Destiny, Tama Tonga and Tonga Low? Are we more in categories with that? With Roman Reigns? Waiting to see main event Jimmy Uso could reunite as the Usos? Waiting to see the honorary Usos, Sami Zayn, come out and make the big save and set that. I'm telling you right now, when they do it, and they have all three of them together, Usos, Roman, and they are just getting beat 4-1. And Sammy's music hits, and you see on that screen, it says, it don't say Sami Zayn. It shows honorary Usos. He comes out that honorary Usos shirt. Man, I don't care where that. If it's overseas, you talk about France, them breaking and have to write a ticket for doors ordinance. If it's overseas, man, they may tear that place down. They may tear it down in there. If it's in America, it's going to be loud. But if I'm WWE, I'm waiting to book that before Survivor Series. I'm trying to find where we can go to Puerto Rico, we can go to Paris. If we could go anywhere just for a one-off night, for one premium live bid night to set that match up for Survivor Series, have Sammy make that save, and they're going to blow the roof off. But it's not time for Cody to lose. Yes, like I said, we have grown stale. Cody's grown stale. It's getting boring. WWE did not plant and write the future script for what happens after Cody finishes the story. For 2.5, 3 years, it was finish the story. We bought into it. Hey, Cody's got to win that one Dusty didn't win. He's won every one of them. Everything he's won, Dusty had. But Dusty never won this one. WrestleMania 39. Cody loses. Finish the story. A whole nother year. Finish the story. WrestleMania 40. Cody finishes the story. The story's done. He wins the title. He looks up to Dusty at WrestleMania 40. He said, Dad, I've done it. He said his dad told him, sorry, Dad, it took me so long to do it. All of that feel-good moment. People were crying at WrestleMania 40. Little Lucas was right here at Red Fox Studio. When Cody pinned Roman for the 3, she had tears of joy in her eye. She said, Daddy, he did it. He finished the story. He did it. But what was the plan after we finished the story? WWE does not know. We don't know. Because now we're more invested in who's the tribal chief. Is it Solo or Roman? That's what we have bought into. Where's the wise man? Where's Paul Heyman? If he comes back, will he come back with Solo after they attacked him and say, Solo, you attacked me? I have to acknowledge you. You had to Ulafala? Or will he come back and say, I've always been with Roman. I'm his special counsel. I'm his wise man. We don't know, but that's what we're invested in. So we got to get Cody back as an investment that we can buy. Because right now we're growing stale of them. But you can't put the title on KO right now. Yes, would it give it some spark? Because you'll put Cody back on the chase. And I really think that Cody needs to be on the chase. I think Cody does better on the chase for the title than he does when he has the title. Now, is he the face of WWE? Yes. Is he making all the TV show appearances, the ESPNs, the CBS, the NBCs, the ABC, Good Morning America, the ESPNs, the Yahoo Sports, everything in between, the Fox Sports shows? Is he making all that stuff? Yes. That's who they want up there. I mean, I hate to say it, I like KO. I think KO will do great on TV as the face of WWE. But Cody's the guy they want to send out to these shows. Good Morning America. What's another one? Wake Up San Francisco. Going back to Full House. If you remember Full House, then you're definitely in my age bracket. Hey, drop a comment. If you remember Full House, give me a thumbs up and drop a comment that says, I remember the TV show Full House when it came out. It was not reruns. It aired every Friday night on TGIL at 8 o'clock on ABC. Drop a comment if you remember that. But that's who they want out there. So you got to keep the title on. But we got to get them somewhere back where it's not stale. Now, I've always said, do not put Cody in this Civil War with the bloodline. Don't throw him in there. If you got to go sign another Tonga, I think Umaga's son is still out there. He's a free agent. Grab him. If you got to use The Rock and have The Rock jump ship, say, hey, I've always been on Roman's side. I'm teaming with Roman. If they do decide to bring in the other Tongan brother, the baby brother who just signed with WWE, bring The Rock in. Don't throw Cody in this, because I think if you throw Cody in this, people are not going to accept it. Yes, Sammy was an honorary Uso. We're going to love it. Hey, if The Rock comes back, sides with Roman, they're going to love it. He's the people's champ. They're going to love it. They're going to love it. If The Rock comes back, sides with Solo Sikoa, and you have to go sign Umaga's son as a free agent out there, they will love it. Do not throw Cody in this. And we continue on, don't have him near this, because it's not good, because you're trying. We got to set it back up for Cody and Roman, for Roman to win the belt back. We got to set that up. So do not put him in this match right here in the Civil War as they continue building and setting those little blocks for the Civil War. So I'm taking Cody. Little Luke's is taking Cody. Leading us to the main event, Gunther, the Ring General, versus Randy Orton. This one is hard because I'm an Orton guy and I'm a Gunther guy. I really say Gunther has restored honor to that sacred badge. Whenever Gunther's on TV, I stop what I'm doing. Gunther to me is FTR. You know, Shawn, I love FTR. Those my boys. That's Harwood, Cash Wheeler. I said they just do it right. They do tag team wrestling how it's supposed to be done. Guess what? Gunther does single mat wrestling how it's supposed to be done. But he's going against Randy. Gunther's already beat Randy for the King of the Ring. Do you want to give Randy this win so that he can tie the record? Or do you want to give it to Gunther? And it goes back to what you got to ask yourself. Is Gunther a transitional champ? I don't think so. I think they want Gunther to have a long reign with this title. So by having a long reign with the title, you got to keep it on him. I would like to see Gunther go over. He went 666 days as the Intercontinental Champion. I would like to see him go farther. 700, 800-day reign as the World Heavyweight Championship. And one thing with Triple H we have started to see more with the Intercontinental title, U.S. title, tag titles, everything is we're not playing hot potato no more with the belt. You got it, I got it, you got it, I got it, Mike got it, Podcast Smitty got it, Podcast Smitty got it. It goes back to me, Mouth off with Mike Wizard. Hey, now the guys on the fourth side of the ring came in. They won it. Hey, did they turn around and lost the booking like a mark? We're not seeing that no more. We're seeing that in order for the title to gain that heritage and prestige, you got to keep it on a guy for more than 100 days. You got to let him get over 300 to 400 days so that it means something. And that's what Triple H is doing. What kind of booking is that? The territory style booking, when a champ stayed a champ for a long time to make the title mean more. Gunther wins. Little Lucas says she is taking, wow, she went on the upset. She's taking Randy Orton to tie it. I can see that happening. Really, I can see that happening. But do you want to kill Gunther off and have people say his first title reign was a transitional reign? Because if that was the case, you would have had him get disqualified at SummerSlam. Damian goes to this pay-per-view as the champ. Just have Randy beat Damian. Clean. But for them to have Gunther beat Damian at SummerSlam, they're not going to turn the lights off on him that quick. I told everybody Gunther is money. So now, double duty, 2 shows, double duty today. Thank you once again for watching WOD on a Saturday morning. Now, let's hear some messages from my good friend, the masterpiece, Chris Masters.
This is Shawn from WOD, and I'm with Chris Masters, the masterpiece. And you are watching WOD on the Boom broadcast.
Masterpiece, Chris Masters. And we're back on WOD. Thanks, my man, good friend, the masterpiece, Chris Masters, for that quick break right here on WOD. Let's jump into show number 2. NXT No Mercy. NXT say, guess what? Hey, we're going to run a premium live event on a Sunday night. Hey, don't forget, guys. Let me go ahead and throw this out right now. And I'm going to throw it out again at the end. As soon as Bash and Berlin go out, round 2 of the day count, my good friend, Boom Broadcaster's good friend, my good brother, Mouthing Off with Mike, will have a host of panel on the day count as they talk about Bash in Berlin. Then on Sunday night, when NXT goes off, guess what? My good friend, my good brother, Mouthing Off with Mike, we'll go back to the nightcap, recapping the NXT pay-per-view and talking about and breaking down. So make sure after both of these shows, you jump on Boom Broadcasting. Check us out. We'll be breaking it down and just give you our bits and pieces, our insights, what went right, what went wrong, what needs to be rebooked, who did this, who did that, how dare you let this person win or lose. We'll be giving you all those takes right here on the day count and the night count. So let's look at No Mercy. And let's start off with my favorite person in NXT. If you watch the nightcap on Tuesday night, if you watch the nightcap on AEW, it's only 2 women. Well, it's 3. But my third one right now, she's kind of, she's doing good ring work, but she's just not gotten back to her whole self yet. That's Mercedes Moné. But my other 2 favorite women I love to talk about, of course, Timeless Tony Storm and AEW. How could we not have a WOD segment? This is another episode where we mention the name of Timeless Tony. Even if she's not the champ, we'll always find a way to bring up Timeless Tony on WOD. But then you have my other girl, Pop Rocks, Roxanne Perez, the prodigy. She just, she's like Timeless Tony. When you just got it, by God, you got it. She's got it. She knows her character. A spoiled brat to get under your skin. She just knows how to be a heel. Some people just have it in them. She has it in her. I don't know if that comes from sitting under Booker T learning tree at Reality Wrestling when I first got a chance to see her, when I was watching Reality Wrestling on YouTube, but she just has it. She's defended the title against Jada Parker. Good promo on Tuesday night by both of these ladies. Great promo. But it goes back to what I said about Gunther and Cody. Is NXT ready to take the belt off Pop Rocks, on Roxanne Perez? I just don't think it's time yet. She's just getting, in the groove of it right now, of making this title so relevant, beating all the ladies. And you can build Jada Parker back up again for a return match where you can have her drop the title to Jada. But right now, you got to keep it on the heel. Roxanne Perez wins. Little Lucas says, hey, she agrees with me. She loves herself some Pop Rocks. She loves Roxanne Perez. Roxanne Perez for the win. Now the NXT North American Women's Championship, the champion Kelowna Jordan versus another lady. She's growing on me every week. I really like Wendy Chu. I like that choke out sleeper move she does. to me is pretty cool. Haven't seen nobody do it that way. So I like that she put her own little flair to it. Bringing Rosemary in now, working with her for TNA. So you got some of that right there in the background brewing. That's going to be big. I like Wendy Choo. And I think Kiana Jordan, you need a good baby face like her to lose to a strong heel. This should be a Wendy Choo squash match. No knock on Kiana Jordan. No knock on her at all. But if you want to make Wendy Choo this devastating, dastardly heel, then you got to have her just squash Kiana Jordan and win the title. And when I talk about squash, I tell people all the time, the best title squash match I've seen. Rest in peace. Mr. Brody Lee versus Cody Rhodes for that TBS title on AEW that night. That night, if you have not seen that match, or if you've seen it and you just need to refresh your mind, go on YouTube, look it up. This is how Wendy Choo's got to beat Kiana Jordan. She's got to do just like Mr. Brody Lee did to Cody. Brody came out there and he just whooped Cody's tail. Mr. Brody Lee just whooped Cody's tail, and by God, Cody sold. He sold like Ricky Morton out there for the Rock and Roll Express. Boy, I tell you, if Granny was alive, she would have been crying for Cody after that match. This is what Wendy Choo got to do to Kiana Jordan. She's got to squash her. And I like Kiana Jordan, but that's going to get her even over more with winning this title. Now we go to a match that is one of the matches I'm going to do. Let me do these other two matches. I'm going to say that one for my next to last one. So let's do Chase University. Andre Chase, Ridge Holland, who are the NXT Tag Champ, versus Nathan Frazer and Axel. I like Chase U. And I think Chase U can continue on with the titles. And I said it on NXT on the nightcap. I'm going to say it again. Chase U wins. You start by seeing Ridge Holland become the Andre Chase of Chase U. Start outshining Andre. Start being more the front guy when they do the little Chase U segment in the classroom. When Mr. Professor Andre's up there talking, start seeing Ridge now cutting Andre off. Start talking. Start seeing Ridge telling Andre, I'm carrying you. Start planting those seeds for a breakup and Chase U with a good match between Andre Chase and Ridge Holland later on down the road. They win this one, but you got to start setting those seeds. I'm taking Chase U. Of course, Lil Lucas, she's taking Chase U also. She's a big Chase U fan. Now let's go to Wesley, Zachary Wentz. I wanted to save these three for last. So that's kind of why I flipped them around. Good setup. Very good setup. Two guys who can go. Two best friends who know each other's movesets will work good. This is going to probably be a sleeper match that could be the match of the night. But we'll probably get outshined because you got Ethan Page and Joey Hendry as your main event. So you won't be able to top it just because of star power. But this will be a great match. A very good match. Two guys who know each other. Technical wrestlers, high flyers, Arsenal-style wrestlers. Say that 3 times fast. Arsenal-style wrestlers who can get in there, who can really do it. But here's the thing. If you're looking for the long run and you want to do a best of 5 with this, then Zachary Wentz has to take the win. But if this is just a one-time match, Zachary Wentz got to put over Wesley. Because at the end of the day, when Zachary Wentz goes back to TNA, Wesley is a heel now, established as a heel. You want to have him have the moon behind him with that push. You want the train pushing him. So I'm taking Wesley to win this because I really think this is just going to be a one-time match that you're going to see him beat Zachary Wentz, send his partner back to TNA, and it's going to help with his heel character that they're building with Wesley as he continues on as a heel. I'm taking Wesley. Little Lucas says she is taking Wesley on this one. So now, leads me to this match. A great match. Oba Femi, the NXT North American champion, versus the Don of NXT, Tony D'Angelo. Told you, man. We talked about it on the nightcap. How the Don made that Heritage Cup relevant, not just a prop trophy title when it was with Metaphor. He gave it some relevance. And we saw the Don have some good matches. And I want to go back to that match when the Don took on, was Trick Williams for the NXT title? May have been Trick Williams with somebody he took on. That was one of the Don's best matches right there. And I remember saying, this guy's ready. He's ready. Either call the family up to the main roster, get him going in the mid-card title, or go ahead, get him a mid-card title, have him have that for a couple of months, and work his way back to the NXT title. The Don is ready. If it was a time to have Oba lose, Oba has ran his course. You know, we always talk about it. I said it on the nightcap, I'll say it again. I pretty much said the thing on Drop the Mic, said on every show that I've been on. Some people make the title. Cody Rhodes, he makes the title. Gunther, he makes the title. AEW, Will Ospreay, he makes the title. Some people, the title makes them. Oba Finn, the title makes him. Okada, the Continental title in AEW, it makes him. Even though she's a star, Mercedes Moné, the AEW title, the TBS title, it makes her. Mariah May, the AEW women's title, it makes her a star. The title can make you a star, or you can make the title a star. Oba has ran his course with the title. It's either two things you can do with Oba. One, send him straight to the main roster. Two, get him in that NXT title contention. So you got to ask yourself, do you want to send him to the main roster with just being a Mid-Atlantic champion? Or do you want to bring him to the main roster after having a great run as the NXT champion? I really think Triple H knows that this guy has something that can be a future World Heavyweight Champion or be a good threat to Cody Rhodes with the Undisputed title. And can have Cody drop it in him, which I don't think Cody will drop it in him. I think that's going to be more Jacob Fatu. But we just, fantasy booking, armchair booking right here. But they have something with Oba. But with Oba, you want him to win that NXT title just to give him a little bit more prestige when he gets that main roster and get drafted. The Don is just sitting back waiting. I've been telling everybody, the matches he put on, he showed that he can really go. This is the time to do it. Oba loses to the Don. The Don wins the title. That, my friends, is not a spoiler. That's a prediction. Oba loses to the Don. I'm saying that. Little Lucas is saying that. The Don wins the title and shocks everybody and brings the title back to the family. And with the Don, once he wins this title, now, like I said, you want Oba to win the NXT title before he goes. After the Don drops the NXT North American title, you can send him and the family to SmackDown. You can send them to Raw. They ran their course. And they got stuff they can say. We've been tag champs. We was the Dogs. I've been the tag champ. I've been the Heritage Cup champ. I've been the Mid-Atlantic champ. I'm ready to go. Send me to the main roster. Throw me in that U.S. title division. If you send me to Raw, throw me in the Intercontinental title. Maybe I can, let me be the guy to beat Braun Breaker after Breaker has a long run. All this can happen. The sky's the limit for the Don, and it starts with winning this match. Now lead us to the main event. Say his name, and he will appear. Do you believe in Joe Hendry? I believe. Domino's believes. The Olympics believe. McDonald's believe. The lady at the Bojangles who heard the music in my car, who started singing, who I said, hey, you watch wrestling? She said, no, but that song's on social media, it's on TikTok. I seen a TikTok with it, and I love that song. I listen to it all the time. So I said, do you know who Joe Hendry is? She said, he's a motivational speaker. I said, no. He's a top 5 PWI Wrestler of the Year. Joe Hendry, he will be in the top 5. A TNA guy will get in there. You heard it on Nightcap. You heard it on WOD. You heard it on Drop the Mic. You heard it on Quick Hits. You heard it me say everywhere I've been, he will be a top 5 guy at the end of the year in the PWI rankings. And, we talked about this match on Nightcap, so we're going to talk about it again. If you're WWE NXT, this is what you want to do. You want to say his name. He will appear. He wins the title. And you can have him win the title and drop it back to Ethan Page in a month and a half, 2 months. But right now, with the social media following this guy has, with what he's done to wrestling, to having people who don't watch wrestling know who he is just by doing his song, it's the perfect timing. We always talk about people who go out there and get themselves over. Stone Cold 96, King of the Ring, left a horrible gimmick, the Ringmaster with the $1 Million Man. Horrible gimmick. Came from WCW, Stunning Steve, one half of the Hollywood Blondes. Cool. Came to WWF as the Ringmaster with the $1 Million Man. Now, he did have the $1 Million Championship, a belt that I do admire. The next one for my collection. But he overcame that. The 96 King of the Ring, Austin 316 says, I just whooped your fill in the blank. We don't cuss on WOD. The president said we cannot cuss on it's a fine. Got himself over. Another guy, The Rock, got himself over. Got put in the Nation of Domination and supposed to play second fiddle to Farouk. Broke out. They did the worst thing. Gave The Rock a mic and found out that if we get this guy a mic, he can talk. He can cut a promo. We've been trying to make this guy a good guy, walk around having this Samoan heritage of being the grandson of the High Chief, Peter Maivia. But this guy can talk. He can do it. Got himself over. So many other people. LA Knight came as a manager to Maximum Male Models. A guy who I was like, oh man, they really dropped. Vince, you dropped the ball on this guy. Did you see what he did in TNA? Got himself over. Elias. What does WWE stand for? Walk with Elias. Got himself over. Joe Hendry, not signed to WWE NXT, signed to TNA, got himself over in Ring of Honor, got himself over in TNA, now got himself over in the WWE crowd for the people in WWE who do not watch TNA. Now he has them watching TNA. Guess what they did on Friday night? They didn't watch SmackDown. They DVR'd SmackDown. They watched Emergence. They bought Emergence and watched it. Because guess what? I did it. I did it. This guy right now is on fire. Do you know how big it would be? And I was telling somebody that today. Shout out to Doughboy. Me and Doughboy had a chance to talk today offline before WOD. And I was telling Doughboy, do you know how big it's going to be if this guy wins this title on Sunday, shows up to NXT on Tuesday night, shows up to TNA on Thursday night with the NXT title around his waist. Then on a Friday night, goes down to a mom and pop indie show, goes to an indie show anywhere, shows up as the NXT champ. Jump over to MLW, shows up as the NXT champ. Do you know how big that would be? That would be monumental for WWE. Triple H said, I like the territorial system. We don't have that no more for people to get reps. When I was out, you had the territories. When Flair was there, we had the territories. We could get under Ric Flair, the Dusty Rhodes, all of those guys. We could learn from them. We could work a town. We could work the Carolinas, then drive to Texas, work Texas, drive to Florida, work Florida for 2 weeks, drive over to Memphis with the King, work the King, drive from Memphis back over to the Smoky Mountains of North Carolina, work Cornette with Smoky Mountain Wrestling, drive up to Philly, work an ECW house show, leave Philly, drive over back to Minneapolis, work a Minneapolis territory. We had all of that. Leave Minneapolis, hop on a plane, fly over to Hawaii, work PWL with The Rock, with Peter Maivia's wife, work Mrs. Maivia territory. We had that. We don't have that now. What a way to say we're heading back in that direction by putting the title on Joe Hendry and using him as the face to say the territories are back. Joe was at TNA Thursday night as the champ. Joe went MLW as the champ. Joe went over here as the AAA as the champ. Joe went to New Japan as the champ. Hey, don't forget, even though New Japan works for AEW, before they had a partnership with AEW, Chusha Thunder Liger was working with WWE. Remember, WWE inducted Chusha Thunder Liger into their Hall of Fame and had him work a match at NXT. Stardom. You could go over there and work a match at Stardom in Japan. It's so much. You go over there to Britain and work a match with the British independents over the Indies over there. It's so much WWE could do. And it starts with putting it on Joe Hendry. I believe, say his name, he will appear. I believe in Joe Hendry's. Little Lucas, she believes in Joe Hendry. It's a 1 in a million shot. And we as WWE fans know that typically WWE does not do this. But I think under the tutelage of Michaels, Triple H, two guys who love to break the rules, a lot of people forget. Triple H did not have Vinnie Mac's permission when he invaded WCW that night in Virginia. They kind of just went out on their own, and it happened. It happened. And it was too far gone, and Vince had to go with it. Now, that's what we've been told. Now, will we ever know the real story? Probably not. But right now, they're going to tell us that's what we were told. He didn't have Vinnie Mac's permission. They just did it, invaded WCW. Wanted to be on both shows. Wanted to be on Raw and on Nitro. Wanted Scott Hall and Kevin Nash to open the door, who was begging Eric Bischoff, let us open the door and do something that's never been done. He's a wild card. Michaels is a wild card. Why not? Is the question. They believe in Joe. Why not put it on Joe, who right now is an internet sensation, social media sensation? Put your title on him and have him show up at TNA on Thursday night as the NXT champ and get announced in TNA. That would be big. TNA hasn't had a problem sending their champ over to your program. Sooner or later in this partnership, WWE's got to return the favor. This is it. And like I said, no, not going to Ethan Page. I really like Ethan Page. I think Ethan Page is a good champ. Do this for a month, 2 months at the most. Ethan Page come back. Joe drops title to Ethan Page. They can even do it on TNA show. Joe drops title to Ethan Page. Ethan Page wins it back. So those are my picks right there on WOD. We want to thank you for tuning in. Don't forget, as soon as Bash in Berlin goes off, Mouthing Off with Mike will be going live right back here on Boom Broadcasting for the day count. As soon as the NXT No Mercy goes off on Sunday, Mouthing Off with Mike will be going back live with a host of panel of friends to recap NXT No Mercy. Don't forget, also today, the president, Michael Davis, drops a show where he just sits down, he gives you a good conversation. I enjoy every week. He just has a talk with himself, gives out so much great knowledge. If you haven't had a chance to go back and watch last week's episode as Michael tells his recovery story, I'm telling you, that was a great podcast to listen to. Very inspirational, very inspiring. Hey, shouts out to the president for being able to share his road to recovery, his road to journey with us right here on Boom Broadcasting. Very good podcast. Recommend everybody to go check that out. This is Shawn. This is WOD for Boom Broadcasting. We will see you in a few more hours after Bash in Berlin, and we'll also see you on Sunday after NXT No Mercy. This is Shawn. I'll see you next week right here on WOD.